Hello, 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 hello. This is Truth Be Told podcast. I'm your host, Britt. Today we got episode number 90 with Mr. Best in the World. Well, Mr. If you know, if you know. That's what we call him on Instagram. But today we got a good one for y'all guys. We are talking about the 5 stages of grieving. How are you doing today?
Man, family, number one, glory be to God too. Thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate you having me on here and reaching out to me. Yeah, this is gonna be a real one for real. I'm really gonna dive deep and really talk my talk. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for I love the podcast family. We always looking out for one another, and I appreciate you coming on the show in short notice. So thank you too.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Definitely. Thank you for blessing me for real. I appreciate that.
You welcome. Before we get into the show, guys, if you're new to my channel, please go like, share, and subscribe. We're still growing. We talk about mental health, we talk about healing, and we talk about real life conversations. So today, I thought that the grieving process would be a great topic. You know, we just got done with the elections. I want to know how are you feeling today?
Um, I mean, I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? Recovering from some health stuff, but I'm doing good overall. You know what I'm saying? Things are getting better. I'm getting medically cleared from a lot of things, so things are definitely getting better. So, as far as the election, I told everybody, whoever wins, we still lose because they don't. Our people ain't really moving forward. You know what I'm saying? We haven't got to the point where we are actually putting things in place for our communities to really thrive, politically in that realm. Where we know, okay, if I put my ballot in, this person's really gonna do what they say.
Hmm.
We doing that wishing on a star stuff. And I ain't with that. It's either gonna happen or it ain't gonna happen.
I know
And
that's
if you look
right.
at both backgrounds of both people, when it comes to us, it's both shady on both ends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna choose the lesser of two evils. You know what I
And I
mean?
hear that.
I'm just not
Yeah.
gonna do it.
I hear you. I hear you. I've definitely been paying attention to your show, your channel. You definitely let the people know how you feel. Even if it's not about the elections, you are definitely an outspoken person about anything. So, regardless of who you chose, whether you chose Trump, whether you chose Kamala, I always say God is in control. So that's where I put all my faith into because looking at all the craziness that is going on in the world, it got to be something higher, so, definitely a higher power than what we're doing here on Earth. But before we get into the podcast, I do want you to tell us a little bit more about you, the intellectual soapbox, and let us know a little bit more about your background.
Um, yeah, I'm originally, from from New York and just living on the West Coast as well, and so New York and Cali is my thing, and I'm a person that I have many different things that I love and I'm passionate about. Of course, I'm passionate and love my people. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And man, I'm a person that really just loves to have fun, enjoys life, and just love to laugh, love to kick it, love food. Um, love the company of a woman. You know what I'm saying? All that. Like I'm really a real man out here in a lot of ways. I'm a gamer. I'm a reader. I also read people.
Mhm. Oh,
You gotta
okay,
read the vibe. You gotta know who you're around. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty good when it comes to fashion, hygiene,
okay.
and all that. So love sports. Love to travel. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a man of many different things, and I always like to. I'm a big researcher, so I'm always using my Google. I'm always looking stuff up on YouTube, and it could be random. So it could be stuff about animals. It could be stuff about health. It could be stuff about new cars or new this, new that. My mind is just very, very faceted and multifaceted. Um, and for me, and I would say personally, as far as relationships, um, I view family as the people that are loyal to me. I don't
Hmm.
view family based on relation. You know what I'm saying? I give that some credence because I do respect like my elders and those before me. You know what I mean? And I respect the youngins too and those my age, you know what I'm saying? But family is really those who are loyal to me. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because that's the way that Christ came in. He was like, my family is the ones that's loyal to me.
Right.
So if my savior is the same that way, I'm the same way too. If you're not loyal to me, then you're not family, and that's just what it is. You know what I
I
mean?
hear
So
that.
because I'm gonna be loyal to you, I'm gonna give my all just as much as I expect my all to be given back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Okay. Well, thank you for letting us know a little bit more about what you got going on. Sounds like you got a lot of hats, which is definitely okay because in this world, we're always trying to reinvent ourselves, or it sounds like you're growing. I love that too. Never stop growing, never stop learning different things. That's how you become who you are in this world. Just getting up every day, being grateful for where you're at, being grateful that you have a God, a higher power that keeps us safe, secure, being grateful. I keep saying being grateful because it could be worse. It could definitely be worse. Somebody's always going through something more than what you're going through. So thank you for letting us know a little bit more about your background.
most definitely, and I'm a person that also likes to help people. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I got a philanthropist type of vibe with me. You know what I mean? And I've always been into that. Like I said, I have a big heart for animals too, kids, all that. You know what I mean? Technology, social media. So I'm into, like you said, I wear a lot of different hats, and you know, being multifaceted, sometimes you're misunderstood because people just, especially when they see a person of color, they just think that you just one thing, or you just listen to one music, or you just eat one food. It's like, nah, like it's so many different things that I'm into. It's so many different things that it is, because it's crazy, because if it's 24 hours in a day, I know in that 24 hours, I don't get to do everything I really want to do in that 24 hours. I don't.
Right.
In that 24 hours, I want to watch a game. I want to play some video games. I want to read a book. I want to go travel somewhere. I want to eat some fly food. You know what I mean? I want to be around my lady. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I can't do all that in one day. Sometime, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Something's gonna get sacrificed. I can't look at some new shoes or look at this new thing or look at new. Like, it's gonna have to wait till the next day. I gotta get some sleep. You know what I mean? So, and I enjoy my sleep too. That's a big thing. I tell people of color. I'll tell you this, man. My black people, man. You know what I mean? Our health is wealth, man. Getting sleep and our eating and all that is definitely, definitely, definitely priority. It cannot be secondary. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And I think for too many of us, we put that secondary, and it's not working out for us, man. So we gotta. That's another thing we gotta take at hand. Politically and socially, yeah, we know we gotta do what we gotta do, but it starts at home, man. And your eating habits and your sleep and all that, and your water intake, that's got to be A1. You know what I mean? Because you can't do
Yes.
nothing if you ain't A1. You feel me? Like, for real.
You're right. You're right. I'm glad that you brought that up, especially with what we're talking about today. With mental health, it's very important to take care of you first. You can't take care of nobody else if you don't have that charge in the back of you, like that energy that you need and that rest that you said. Sometimes we got this mentality that we just got to go, 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 go. Yes, you got to take care of your business, but you got to rest too. You definitely have to rest because rest is a part of mental health. It recharges you, it makes you better for whatever you're trying to do next. So, thank you for letting us know that. Now, today we are talking about the 5 stages of grieving. The reason why I wanted to talk to this subject with you is because I see that you have a platform for men. Sometimes I feel like men don't have a safe space to go to and vent. I feel like men grieve just as much as women. They might grieve a little bit more, but we just don't see it because they have to have this persona that they're the provider, the protector, the head of the household, but they don't get a space to cry and just be themselves in. What made you create this intellectual soapbox for men?
But to be honest, my platform is really for our people completely. You know what I mean? The men
Mhm.
and women both. I'm a man that speaks profoundly about where I'm at and what's going on with me. But it's really for everybody. It's really for all peoples of color, the whole African diaspora, whether it's Latin or whatever else. I'm covering all of us, Caribbean, all that. You know what I
I love
mean?
it. You're
I'm
brown
covering
and
every
black
part.
people.
Yeah, all of us. You know what I mean? Because we're always put in a box. We're always put in a box of either it's about us making music or sports, and that's really about it, or they think we're doing crime, or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's never we never get to be multifaceted. Before, if you looked at our icons of the past, they had so many different things that you can kind of look and see what them they were doing. Like you had a Muhammad Ali. Yes, he was nice in that ring, but he
Mm-hmm.
also spoke socially and politically, and he also made ground socially and politically to the point where he was in prison for, you know what I mean, his views and and what he stood on. You know what I mean? So we got to see him in multi layers. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we just haven't had in a very long time, a very very long time. You know what I mean? And it's something that I really take seriously and that I really try to do as just far as myself individually as a content creator and personally as well. I want our people to have a voice and I want us to have different voices. And I don't want us to have the same voice. I think with our people too on social media, it's just a lot of the same thing. It's either people just trying to be in the camera to, you know what I mean, to be, I guess, be entertaining or be a clown or um you know what I mean? To try to be like some fake model or fake
Right.
influencer or whatever, or they telling you all these business tips to make money, all this other BS, or it's about relationships. They either trying to tell you about relationships or they trying to tell you why they mad about a relationship. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
fit into either one because, you know what I mean? One, I'm not gonna tell you about my love life. And if I do give you references to love life, it's more to be helpful or more to just try to direct you and guide you and kind of, let you know what I know as far as what can help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then as far as, talking bad about women, that ain't gonna never happen with me. Like, I don't do the bad talking
Okay.
about women. I like women. So if I want the women to come to me, well, I'm gonna talk bad about them. It just don't make
That's
no
right.
sense. You know what I'm saying? If I want to be satisfied by a woman, I'm not gonna talk bad about a woman. How does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? But and the sisters do it too. They talk bad about the men. I'm like, you want to be
Yeah,
with a
we
man? Why
do.
you talking bad about him? Like, it don't
We
make no
do.
sense. We do a lot of things that are self defeating. You know what I
We
mean?
do.
And it don't allow us to get the results that we want based on our disappointment. So for me, it's just a thing that just allow us to have a voice on everything. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? I just don't want us to be in one area. I don't just want us to be a Jay Z or just a Stephen A. Smith or just a LeBron. I want us to be all those things in one, and to be a Cornell West, and to
Mm.
be a, you know what I mean, to be a Michael Eric Dyson, and to be a Tupac, to be all that in one. Why can't we be all that in one? We used to be all that in one anyway.
You're
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
You're
That's what
right.
made us great. You know what I mean?
I think that it's so apparent to be authentic. A lot of us, like you said, try to be like everybody else on social media. But when you are living in your truth and being your authentic self, it shines and you don't have to be put in a box. You can be a cooker, you can do the yard, you can be into fitness. Like you said, you don't, when you look at you or you look at Truth Be Told podcast, you really can't put us in a box because it's okay to be more than one person. Like you said, you have many hats, so I commend that for you. I definitely do. But let's go ahead and jump into the topic. We're talking about the 5 stages of grieving. When I talk about the 5 stages of grieving, the reason why I thought this would be a good topic, like I said, we just got out of the election. Some people are grieving more than others. Some people really don't care. It just depends on where you're at in the world as far as watching politics and doing things of that nature. As a black woman, I'm not gonna lie. The next day after the polls came in after election day, I felt a certain type of way, and I'm still feeling a certain type of way because it's just crazy. Like a lot of things that we think when you're growing up and when you're taught to be a certain way and act a certain way, the world is not showing that. Now you're seeing people with felons being president. You're seeing so much stuff that we thought that if you was a felon, you couldn't do XYZ, you know. And so now
Facts,
it's
just the
being,
facts.
yeah, and so now it's being portrayed. Oh, okay, he's a white man. He can do that, you know, and it just makes me look at this world different, and that's why I always say I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. I'm very spiritual. I definitely believe in God. I believe that God is still in control, regardless of how we're feeling or grieving. I really think that he's still in control. And not even just with politics. When we talk about the 5 stages of grieving, everybody has lost somebody. Can you tell me a little bit more of how you feel when we talk about those 5 stages of grieving?
Most definitely, most definitely. I definitely will answer that question. I just want to cover something real quick about the politics thing, real quick, if I may.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I think here's the thing, right? And this is how we should just view this country. Period. Right?
Hmm.
The you're not gonna if you have an animal, or even if you have a child, or even if you have an insect in your home, you're not gonna let nothing like that overtake your home, right? You're
Hmm.
not.
Hmm.
It's your home. It could be your own child. You can love your child and do everything for them, but they know when mama say, "Hey, yo, nah, it's a wrap." It's either I'm gonna say yes or no. I'm the parent here. Or this is my home. I set the boundaries.
Right.
Whether I'm right or wrong, I set the boundaries, and they know that, right?
Hmm.
So I love the picture, by the way, in the back. You know what I'm saying? That's fly. Um, but yeah. So they know that you set the parameters. So with us, we're not the parents of this nation. We
Hmm.
don't set the parameters. You know what I mean? And it's always gonna be that way until we are in a nation that we set the parameters.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's how the world has always been from the dawn of creation. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? If there's a people that was oppressing another people, that people couldn't be free until they got rid of their oppressor, because their oppressor was taking advantage of them, enslaving them, etc., etc. Right? You can go from
Right.
the Roman age to the Greeks to the Mesopotamians to whatever else you want to go to, Mediterraneans or whoever else. Right? There's no
Right.
part of history where the oppressor says to the oppressed, "Oh yeah, you could come in and be just like me." No, that never happens. You know what I'm saying? That happens when somebody gets off. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Somebody gotta go. You know what I mean? And if that don't happen, guess what? It ain't gonna go down. So I know why people want this kumbaya thing. I know we live in a society where it's this modern society, and we don't really want to have mass violence, and we kind of want to live in a utopian somewhat society, right? We want to have our Starbucks and our PlayStations and our iPhones and stuff, right? We
Yes.
want to live in comfort, right? And I live some Ubers. Hey, I'm guilty of it too. Don't get me wrong. I like those comforts too. But you gotta understand, in order for us to really be on equal footing,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? The original oppressor can't be here. We would have to get rid of him. We would have to overthrow the system. That's how it's always worked. You know what I mean? And it don't work no other way. And it will have to come by, unfortunately, bloodshed. I hate to say it, but it's
Right.
just the truth through history. Look at any nation. It's just the nature of man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If I'm controlling the situation and I'm happy about the situation, why I'm gonna change it?
True.
You know what I
True.
mean? I'm happy with it. I don't care if somebody else ain't happy with it. It's benefiting me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And as selfish as that sounds, you know what I mean? That's what it is. And for me to allow it to benefit you, that means that I'm not going to be benefited anymore. And I don't want that. I like being benefited. And that's how the oppressor looks at us. So in this society, our people are going to always be oppressed because we don't run it.
Hmm.
We don't get to say, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. Hey, this is who we want politically." Now, if you look at other nations throughout the world, the politicians are afraid of the people. They're afraid of the militias. They're afraid of everybody. They're afraid. They are afraid because you'll see it in Venezuela or wherever nation you want to pick. They don't do what the people say. Them people will come up in them chambers, and
Hmm.
they'll be letting off, and that president will be out of here. They got to replace him. You know
Right.
what I mean? And that's how other nations move, but we don't move that way because militaristically we don't have the manpower, and two, we are desensitized.
Mm-hmm.
We are, and they've done that to us over hundreds of years. You know what I mean? It's partly our fault, but it's also on them as well. Now, as far as the grief thing, I think with grief, it's a thing that you can't expect, and it's not something that you can really prepare for, even if you know it's gonna happen. If
Right.
that makes sense, you know what I mean? It's like if I tell you, okay, today you're gonna be in a car crash. You know what I mean? You know you're gonna be in a car. I already told you. I say, hey, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen. You know I'm telling the truth. You know it's gonna happen. And let's say, you know what I mean? It's an event that you know what's gonna happen. Or I'm gonna tell you, hey, today you're gonna get surgery, right? Yeah, I'm gonna
Right.
get surgery. Okay, I know it's gonna be painful, but you don't know really what's gonna happen during that surgery, after surgery, how you're really gonna feel. You're just trying to prepare yourself for it. Grief is the
Mhm.
same way. And the difference between grief and everything else is that grief don't have a timetable.
Right. Right. That's what I was waiting
That's
for you
the
to
number
say.
one thing, sister. Grief don't have a timetable, and on top of that, you don't know when the next grieving process is gonna happen because you don't know when you're gonna lose somebody, or you're gonna lose opportunity, or you're gonna lose somebody romantically, or whatever else. You don't know when these things are gonna happen, or you're gonna lose something valuable that you really loved and care about. You know what I mean? You can have a gold watch that you love, and it's gone. You can't find it. Now you're grieving that, and now somebody's like, man, just a gold watch, just buy another one. But they don't know that you just lost something that was really impactful for you. So now you losing the
Right.
gold watch just makes the whole thing crumble again. And now you just completely shot. You just hate everything now. Or you're just sad about everything now. Now your food don't taste the same. You don't want to see nobody. You don't want to talk to nobody. You want to be alone. Or you just selfish, you know what I mean, in a ways that just beyond being selfish. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But that's a part of grief. You know what
It's
I mean?
crazy. It's crazy that you go there because when you're grieving, like you said, you don't know when you're going to lose someone. You could be grieving losing someone, but you can also grieve losing the old you. I'm learning that too. And when I talk about the five
Facts.
stages, right, when I talk about the five stages of grieving, I'm talking about denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Uh, the reason why I can contest to this cycle of just understanding how grief works. It doesn't always go in that order, but I actually went through it. I can really say when I lost my father. I lost my father in 2008, and I was in nursing school. I had just got accepted to nursing school. So I was excited, but then I was still sad. And then once I got into the program and we started studying the grieving cycle like off bat. And it just broke me down. Like I couldn't even finish nursing school because I was too too sad of what was going on with my father, or what I lost, like my Superman. But I watched him go through all five of these stages. And it just, even when I think about it now, it's just crazy, like to understand that grieving process. What can you tell me as far as with those five steps I gave you, or the five cycles that are in the grieving process? What are some things that you can relate to when you're thinking of that process?
I can relate to all of them because I done been through all of them. I've been losing people since I was a kid.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been losing people since I was a child, man. I've lost people to AIDS and HIV. I've done lost people to violence. I done lost people to all types of stuff as a child. You know what I mean? So if you seeing that all the time as a child, it shapes your reality.
right.
And if you living in poverty, which I did, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I wasn't without, but I lived in an area that was filled with poverty. So if you live in those type of areas and you seeing lack and you seeing different things and you losing people at the same time, even though, you know, my parents, one of my parents was really, she really did well, which is my mom. I still seen the ills of society, and I still
Mhm.
lived amongst it, so it still affected me. You know what I mean? It's like it's like you could be clean, but if you standing right next to garbage, you start to smell bad too. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you know what I mean? If you standing right next to it, it's like, yeah, I know I'm clean, I just got washed, but man, you know what I mean? This garbage is right here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's how it is if you live in poverty. So, um, you know what I mean? It's still gonna affect you. So I think seeing all that from a youth,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It just shaped my view of my own mortality and reality, and just how I view people and how I handle people. You know what I'm saying? So, and at times it makes me robotic and not caring, and then sometimes it makes me care too much.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I have to have a balance. I'm an all or nothing type of person. Either I really rock with you, or there's just nothing there. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have no in between. I'm black and white when it comes to that. When it comes to
Right.
what I feel is black and white. You know what I mean? If it's a woman and I really dig that woman, I'm really digging her. If I'm not, then I'm not.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? There ain't no in between. You know what I'm saying? And she knows that
Yeah.
she know what level she on. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And she knows if she's more on the romantic level, or if she's just not nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's just what it is. So and on those levels, there's different levels to that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? But
So
it's very clear. I don't mix no ways about it. You know
okay.
what I'm saying? So, and that's how I always been, because when you seeing stuff like that from a from a
Mhm.
from a youthful age,
Mhm.
it makes you really just it makes you really have to cut the short stuff short,
Right.
because it's like, man, I'm seeing my family carried out.
Mhm.
I'm seeing this happen. I'm seeing that happen. I'm living in these conditions.
Mhm.
Yeah, ain't no time for the BS.
Right.
It's just, so
Right.
let's get to it. I'm like that in real life. Let's get to it. You know what I
It
mean?
it
What
definitely
is it?
makes you
Is it
look at
this or is
stuff
that?
different.
Say it again, family. I'm sorry.
I said it definitely makes you look at the world different. You know, it sounds like you're on the other end, and I don't mean like you won't ever grieve again. I just mean that you've been there, you've done that, you've went through those stages. Can you just talk to the people like who are grieving right now, who don't know how to come out of anger or bargaining? Like if you could take one of those stages that you could talk to the audience about, that you, I know you said you've been through every one, but if it's one that resonates with you the most, can you just give the audience some advice if they're struggling with those with the five stages of grief?
I would tell them, no matter what stage they in, that they gotta value them first, yo.
Hmm.
And I'm saying that because, my own mortality is a real thing for me now, and it's been a real thing for me for the past. I mean, for really my lifetime, but really these past 5 years has really been a big thing. So, um, you got to value you. You got to really value you. You know what I mean? Because people will keep going. Like,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Most people gonna keep going. There gonna be some people that's gonna be like, "Yo, where you at?" Blah 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 blah. For the most part, people gonna keep going, and even those people gonna keep doing what they're doing. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. So value you. If there's whatever, if you want to go travel, if you want to go connect with this person, you want to go experience this, experience that, do it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Do it. You know what I mean? And yes, you may feel something, or you may be hurt. You know what I mean? But understand that person left a legacy for you. They gave what they could, and don't feel bad where you at, but don't stop living and enjoying what you like to do. Like,
Yes.
I'll say that, because when you do that, that's when it could really affect every other area in your life, and you start dealing with things that you never really want to even deal with.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I can say that for a fact. So, in order to avoid that, man, just continue to do things that you enjoy, and don't feel bad about doing the things that you enjoy, and don't even think about what other people think about doing the things that you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you know you ain't doing nothing that's illegal. You ain't messing with no kids. You ain't
Right.
sexually doing something bad to somebody or manipulating somebody. Man, enjoy your life, man. For real, I'm being so for real about it. If you want to eat a happy meal today and you want to go drink some champagne tomorrow, go do it. I would
Right.
advise doing it every day because it ain't healthy, but You know what I'm saying? Like, do you, man? Do you? If it's somebody that you really care about and you afraid to tell them something, nah, go tell them. Go
Right.
tell them. You know what I mean? If there's a family member you want to connect with, go connect with them. Whatever it is that you want to do, go do it. You know what I'm saying? If there's a career that you really want to get into and you don't really know if you're gonna make it or it ain't gonna work or whatever, nah, don't think about that. Just go.
Mm-hmm.
Go. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, man, life is long and short at the same time. It's
Yes.
long and it's short.
We only
It's
get
very weird.
one. Right.
That's
We
right.
only get one. I
Hmm.
think for me, when I talk about the five stages of grieving, anger for me was a big one. I was just spiraling out of control when I lost my father. I was very aggressive. Things didn't happen the way they were supposed to happen. I had a stepmom who she switched it up as soon as he passed away. Her colors were shown, and I was very angry because and I used to just be so mad at her because I knew that the same walk she had with my father, I went through the same walk with my daughter because my father, he died of colon cancer. And my daughter, she's still here, thank God, but she had brain cancer. And so I would walk through those stages even whenever she was going through cancer and remediation because I could just remember how my father was. And sometimes I still grieve him. And I still grieve, grandmothers, like you said, people that are important to you. Um, but what I learned was to put me first, to understand what to do with those feelings and emotions. Like you said, go enjoy life. If you want a happy meal, go get you a happy meal. But what I learned to do was just have like a great morning routine, to get into worship in the mornings. I worship with God. I started meditating. I've been doing this like consistently for the last 4 years, and it has changed the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I look at life. I know that everything is not always going to be peaches and cream. So, like you said, when you have dealt with something at a younger age and now you're in your adulthood, it just makes you look at life totally different. What is something that you can tell to the audience as far as when it comes to acceptance? I know that's usually the last part of the five stages. If you could just give me one thing that you can tell to the audience when it's accepting the grieving process, what would you tell the audience today?
I would tell them that they just gotta understand that those, you know what I mean, that they just, man, they really gotta chime in on just really doing what they can to become better within themselves because, like I said, that person's gone. You know what I mean? I believe their spirit is still around, but that person's gone, and they themselves will want you to keep going for real, for real. They will want you to keep going. You know what I mean? Because they would still want to be here if they had a chance, if they had a choice, possibly. You know what I mean? But yeah, like you got to keep going. And I'm glad you said what you said because your home does have to be your sanctuary. It's got to
Right.
be a sanctuary. It's got to be your hospital. It's got to be your place of refuge. All that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times I'll go out and I'm like, man, I want to go back home. You know what I mean?
Right, because that's where
It
your
could be
peace
going to an
at.
event. It could be going to whatever. And I'm like, man, I want to go back home because my
Mm-hmm.
home is my sanctuary. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I get to
Hmm.
relax. I get to wear what I want to wear. I get to chill. I get to clean it, and it'd be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And you can't do that everywhere else. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Everywhere else, they got their own way of being and doing or whatever, and that's fine. But in my home, I want things to be a certain way.
I
You know what I'm
love it.
saying? If it ain't a certain way somewhere else, I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to go home. I feel it instantly. I did that this past weekend. I went
Mm-hmm.
somewhere and people just started, acting a certain way. And 30 minutes into it, I said, oh no, it's time to go.
Right. Oh my gosh. I love that you ended it with this because it's the growth in you. I don't know you, but what I do know is that you can tell when somebody's growing. You can tell when somebody is just okay. I'm outgrowing the old me. The new me is just I ain't dealing with all that. Like I'm not dealing with that drama. I'm not dealing with that mess. Like I'll listen to your story, but I got my own stuff to deal with. So I'll listen to you. But when it starts becoming to a point to where it's like all the time, every day, you still talking about the same stuff back in 1933. I don't want to hear that. Like, because at this point,
Say that
like you,
again.
yeah, like you said, we should be growing. We should be moving forward. You have to accept things in life is going to be hard. We were put here for long suffering. So we're going to suffer. But it's just knowing how to put it in, if you got to put it in a corner, compartmentalize things so that you understand that when those emotions arise, whether you're angry, whether you're bargaining, whether you're in denial, you don't want to accept what's going on, you have to understand it's just a part of the grieving process. Now, I'm not going to take up more of your time, but if there was something that you could say to 14-year-old you,
Hmm.
what would it be that you would say to yourself today?
Don't care what anybody thinks and just do what you feel like you want to do to be happy. I was telling her, I'm like, man, stop trying to fit in with these people. Who cares? They don't matter. Don't care about what they talking about in this high school, whatever. Get your education on, focusing on your books, and once you get out this thing, go travel the world and get your passport and go chill and have fun and go enjoy life. That's what I would tell 14-year-old me. And it's something that you shared that I don't know if you just if you don't you and you share things and I like to speak to him because what you're sharing is so profound. Because I think within our people we have a generational divide as well, and I think
Mhm.
and I see it with the older people a lot. And I ain't trying to bash the older people because without the older people we need them. You know what I mean? I need my
Right.
mom, my dads, and all that. But at the end of the day, the older people, man, like they got to really stop focusing on this past stuff. You know what I mean? They gotta let it go. You know what I'm saying? We don't care what happened. Like you said, 1930 or the 40s,
Mhm.
50s, 60s. We don't. It's over. We got to keep it moving
Mhm.
because if we don't, we got kids up under us that are already. You know what I
Right.
mean? They on a different type of time, and if we
Mhm.
don't watch it, it's gonna affect our people in a dramatic way. It already is. So, I don't know your age, sister, but I think that you're around my age as well. You either like I know you either like near middle age or you probably are middle age. I would say that.
Okay,
So
so how old am I since you don't know?
I would say you're between 32 and 40. I would say that.
You right. I'm 37. Yes,
There
sir.
you go. There you
Yeah.
go. You're right with me. I'm right. You're right. I'm 40, so you're right with me. So
Okay.
you know what I mean? Because we speaking that same talk because we know what it is. So it's like
Right.
what I mean. When it comes to the youngins, they're on a different type of speed. So
Mhm.
and it's fine. They got to be on their own speed. We was on our own speed when we was that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so
I
important with
love
us
it.
when we're dealing with
I-
things like grief or we're dealing with mental health. You know what I'm saying? To really approach it in a way where we're not allowing these things that are in the past to really hinder us. And
Mhm.
we have to have a lot of honest conversations, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
within our people. We haven't, we haven't had really honest conversations about them. And we just now, within the last decade, have really accepted grief and mental health.
That's
Before we
true.
weren't accepting that, boy, but ain't nothing wrong with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're all right. You know what I mean? You know what it is? We would say that in an instant. We would. You know what I mean? I probably have said it. You probably have said it unknowingly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's how it was. We would
Yep.
tell that person, go get a job, go get some money, or go hook up with somebody, go get in a relationship,
Mhm.
whatever. But we weren't really identify the real problems that was really
Yes.
going on. We just started doing that,
We
like I said, the
did.
last decade. You know what I'm saying? So and we just haven't had honest conversations really about that, about family, about how we want to do relationships as a people, not
Mhm.
by what they saying, not by what somebody telling us, not by what some book is telling us. You know what I mean? But really, really focusing on how we want to do it. And I think we do have a lot of guides that guide us, whether it's the Bible or for
Mhm.
those who believe in. And I'm not going to disrespect my Islamic community as well. Our brothers and sisters that are
Right.
Muslim, or if they into any other type of religion as well. You know what I'm saying? Whatever deity you follow, those things give you a lot of practices, and they give you a lot of ways of life. You know what I mean? But even then, we still gotta have honest conversations.
Yep.
You still gotta have those conversations. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Because if we look around, right, let's just take a concept just like marriage, right? They keep switching up the rules in marriage. They
Hmm.
said it was man and woman. Now you can marry about anybody.
Yeah.
Now they about to change the number amount of people you about to marry. Like it's like so what we want to do for us, what we want to do
Hmm.
for us when it comes to grief and mental health, what we want to do for us when it comes to all these different things. We're not really talking about that, and I feel like we're trying to get to that point, but we just gotta really push it home. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I'm gonna say this, and I say this a lot. We don't have the time we believe we have,
Hmm.
and that's a good thing, but that's also an alarm. The alarm has been sounded off before the elections, before all that. It's been sounded off a long time ago. Remember, we just had that shutdown a few about less than 5 years ago when everything shut down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That was the alarm going off. That was our wake up call. If we still
Hmm.
haven't woke up,
We still
hey,
haven't woke up. I love you.
it's
I love you saying that.
hey we it's going to get even more wild.
Right. We don't take
We ain't
nothing
seen nothing else.
serious.
Say it again.
I said we don't take nothing serious.
We
Like
don't. We
it's
don't.
it's a time to be funny and laugh and kiki gaga, but then it's a time to be like, okay, now, like, how many more warnings, signs, and wonders that you need that God and whoever you believe in is showing you through the universe that you need to get your stuff together. Like you need to get together. Like you really do. I love how you even talked about our moms and even our great grandmas, like if I think of my mom generation, the whole depression, anxiety, mental health, we couldn't talk about things like that. Like you said, my mama would tell me, girl, you better go lay down, go read, ain't nothing wrong with you. And still to this day, it's kind of hard to talk to mom. And I'm just talking about my mom, but it's just sometimes hard for her to understand, like, mom, I've been dealing with this depression and anxiety since daddy been gone, and I had to learn how to get out of that. And so this is why I came up with Truth Be Told podcast. I just wanted to share my truth through mental health, through healing, and real life conversations. I want to thank you for coming on the show today because I know we could talk about the 5 stages all day. I'm grateful that you took the time to come on here and talked about, again, y'all, we're talking about the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. If you find yourself in one of those cycles right now, it's okay. But what he said, Mr. No, if you know, he said you got to keep going. You got to keep going. If you need a therapist, go get you a therapist. There is nothing wrong with sitting with somebody and talking to somebody to express your feelings. Somebody who don't know you, so they don't have so much judgment because they can see from a therapist side, or even going to church or whatever it is that's going to get you to keep going in life because we can't stop. That's what you need to do. I need you to tell the audience where we can find you at on
Man,
social media.
I agree with all those things you said too, sister. Finding your tribe, or finding your sanctuary beyond
Right.
your home, whether it's therapy, whether it's church, whatever else, you have to find it. Um, the great Nasir Jones, you know what I'm saying, aka Nas, said, "Now let's put it all in perspective. We have to do it as a people. We got to put everything in perspective. We don't, man. We're gonna suffer. We are gonna suffer. There's so many things that's coming down the pipeline for us that we have to get it all in perspective. We
Mhm.
cannot slack. We cannot. And the best resource we have is ourselves and each other. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
That
Yes.
that's our ultimate weapon. That's our ultimate resource.
Mhm.
Get out of this whole delusion of chasing the bag or chasing this or chasing that. Get out of all of that. You know what I'm saying? And start to build real family and real wealth within each other. You know what I mean? Because all the other nations, they doing that. Not
Right.
only did they just buying up the property, they buying up, wealth within each other,
Hmm.
socially, politically, spiritually, mentally, and everything else. You know what I mean? And physically. So we just have to do that within our own people. Um, you know what I'm saying? And we can't shun our people for finding ways and finding answers. You know what I mean? We can't gender shame. We gotta stop age shaming. We gotta stop doing all of that. Finance shame and all of that. Cause ain't none of us really hound that hog anyway like that. We really are
That's
not.
right. That's
You know what I
right.
mean? We don't really own nothing here. do the research. You know what I mean? Just look at whether you want to look at financially or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? So we have to really put it all in perspective and use the greatest resource we have, which is each other. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? If we do that, we'll be fine. You know what I mean? Yes, I know we may believe in different deities or whatever, but we got to put all that aside. We don't have the time. Like I said, we don't have the time to be fighting over these things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because to be honest, even when it comes to religion and all that, we don't even know everything when it comes to that. We just know
No, we
things in
don't.
part. Even the word says that. We don't know everything.
We
You
don't.
know what I mean? And a great man once said, the one thing the best knowledge I knew was that I knew nothing at all. I realized I knew nothing at all. So if we come humbly like that, we're able to make strides. But if I come in here and I'm like, man, truth be told, can't tell me nothing, and I know this and I know that, or you come in here and say, Mr. Best can't tell me nothing, then we ain't gonna get nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? How can all reach one, teach one if we're not willing to even be open to the things that each other can bring? You know what I mean? I bought the potato salad to the dinner. I didn't bring the chicken. You bought the chicken. I want some chicken. You want the potato salad. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it all together. But if I'm over here hoarding my potato salad, and you over there hoarding your chicken, then we ain't got a full meal.
That's
And
right.
that's what we're doing. We gotta stop hoarding the things, the little meaningless things that we all have. You know what I'm saying? So people can find me on YouTube on the Intellectual Soapbox. On YouTube, just type in Intellectual Soapbox or type in the Intellectual Soapbox, and you will find the channel that I am a part of. I am not the Intellectual Soapbox. Intellectual Soapbox is a movement, um, but it's a movement that I have created through
Right.
love and support through so many people. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I am the spearhead and the figurehead of it, but it is not just mine. It is
Mm-hmm.
God's, and it's the people's. You know what I'm
I love
saying?
it.
And it's always gonna be that. And I put the intellectual soapbox banner up there because I want people to know that's what I represent, as well as knowledge and relationships. That's my other channel as well. You can find me there with my peoples in three stand, sophisticated jerk, Miss Polly and the rest of the crew that comes through on there. And I want to thank them as well, and just thank everyone that's always supported me in any venture I've done, whether we get along or we don't get along no more. I still thank you, and I definitely love what you have brought to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm grateful for all the lessons that I've been taught on this. You can also find me on Instagram as Mister If You Know You Know.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on that. Um, you can DM me anytime, especially if it's in regards to anything, social media wise as far as business. Any personal conversation I'm not really willing to do at all. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
um that takes me getting to know you or even knowing you, period. So yeah, that is my business page. It is for business, it is for intellectual soapbox business only, and it's for if you want to connect on social media. Or if you just need advice on social media things, I can do that as well. And I
Right.
don't charge for anything. I don't charge to do a StreamYard training, which I also have done for a lot of people. I
Mm-hmm.
don't charge to help people develop a channel or to get their socials set up. I don't charge for none of that. My advice and my help is free. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, my movement is for the people and for our people. So that's where you can find me. That's what it is. I'm grateful for this opportunity, sister. And also want to give a shout out to just more people. My sister, Lady S, Sister Chocolate, sister, Embrace the Grace. Just man, everybody who's reached out to me and supported me. My brother Truth, Bolo TV, all the people that have reached out to me and have checked on me, during my grieving process that I've been going
Mm-hmm.
through. Because I lost my nephew due to cancer over the spring and
I didn't hear
summer,
that.
and it's been very, very hard. So, yeah, you know what I mean. That was supposed to be my heir. You're supposed to, because I don't got no kids, so he's supposed to be the one that I was going to impart all my
Right.
love, knowledge, and wisdom to. And now he's not here, so yeah, that took a lot out of me. So, and it led me down a path where I'm now, dealing with things on a health, issue, but I'm getting stronger and better every day. And I want to thank everyone that has supported me, man. Everyone who has shown me love, everyone who's reached out to me. My brother Grizz from Access Entertainment, what's going on? Big Rick Slapson on me and you talk. I also want to send my condolences to the family of the late great brother Clarence, Mr. Bryant. Shout out to you as well. Shout out to everybody, man, who's always supported me and showed me genuine love. My brother Marcus, you know what I mean? What's going on? So everybody that showed me love, definitely, definitely. I appreciate you. Anybody I forgot, don't think that I don't love you or care about you. There's just too many of y'all. So, and I know the sister got a time limit, and I want to respect the time. So much
It's
love, everybody, and
okay.
thank you for all viewing and showing love, and to all those who are in the Intellectual Soapbox group. Thank y'all as well, and I'm gonna add you to the group as well, sister, so you can chime in
Thank
with us.
you.
You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
Thank y'all all for showing me love and for being a part of the movement. I definitely appreciate y'all. I definitely love y'all. So, with that being said, that is me. Thank you so much, sister. Much
Yes.
love.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. We are signing out today, y'all. This is episode number 90 with Truth Be Told podcast and Mr. Best from the Intellectual Soapbox. You guys have a good evening. Bye bye.
Later, y'all. Much love.
Hey.